Hi, everybody. My name is Kate Lundquist, and I am a star director in Minnesota. Hopefully, by the time that you are watching this, maybe I'll be superstar director. We're working on it, but just a matter of time. So we'll see if it happens sooner than later. I am here to talk to you today about resilience, and I'm so excited about this topic, passionate about it. And if you're trying to decide whether you're going to stay tuned in or not, my hope is that you will feel inspired after hearing about the last few years of my life where I dealt with an unexpected but wonderful pregnancy, postpartum depression, a cancer diagnosis, multiple surgeries, chemotherapy, a huge move, and all sorts of emotions and craziness tied into that, all woven together, and having 6 kids to raise and support and love and clothe and feed. So through those, and that was just all in the last couple of years. So if I can do this, you can do it. And I feel pretty strongly about that, because your life moments, your life, your circumstances, there's craziness that's going to happen, and it's not a matter of if they will, it's when they will. Mine just happened, hopefully, to all land in the same time frame, and my way of navigating and dodging all those things can hopefully help you feel that maybe your mountains aren't too tall to climb. I want you to all write this down if you have notes today. Before I tell you any more about my story, I want you to believe and have it written down. If you take anything from this today, I want you to write down, Scentsy is flexible around your circumstances. Go ahead and write that down while I repeat it. Scentsy is flexible around your circumstances. And if you'd like, even write it down like you're telling yourself. Write down, Scentsy is flexible around my circumstances. Maybe you want to take it one step further and say, the specific circumstance that is weighing you down in your life right now, where you feel like something feels impossible or scary or frightening or anxiety inducing. Scentsy is flexible around my divorce. Scentsy is flexible around my children, distance learning, COVID. Oh, and I was diagnosed with COVID this week too. So I'm not lying. I have COVID right now. So I came out of bed to do this presentation for you guys. So I'm doing all right. I'm going to be okay. But yeah, it's crazy. So what haven't I dealt with in the last few years? So now that you know, Scentsy is flexible around your circumstances, whatever that may be. Do you believe it? Maybe you'll believe it after I tell you more about what I've endured. I got a cancer diagnosis. There was a lump in my left breast. It was right here, and it turned out to be cancerous. So May of 2019, that was not that long ago, you guys. I was told as I was holding my baby that I had cancer. And yeah, there's just nothing like it, where you don't know if you're going to live. How, you didn't know, I didn't know anything. I didn't know what type of breast, I didn't even know there was all these types of breast cancers. I didn't know what it meant for me and my future. What did it mean for my family? Was I going to live? What kind of treatment was I going to get? How, I lived in the middle of nowhere. I lived in a very small, remote town in northern Minnesota on the Canadian border. Like, what was going to happen to my life? Fast forward, I had to move me and my 6 children, including my nursing infant, to about 6 hours away. I moved in with my parents so I could get cancer treatment and have support. So I did that for a whole summer. I then went back to my tiny little town, and I was my husband had to keep working, and I continued treatment through the fall, and then so I was pretty much on my own. I didn't have a lot of extra support. Trying to keep my business alive too, and we'll get to that. And then I had a double mastectomy, and another bout of depression. I mean, it was just crazy, you guys. Like, I mean, it's just been a heavy couple of years. And so then that brings us to 2020. So then I kind of come out of this depression, and then COVID hits, and I'm home with my family, and here we are now to the fall of 2020. In that time, I have had 2 more surgeries. We also moved our entire family from northern Minnesota to in a small rural community to Minneapolis. And so I'm happy to report, amongst all these crazy things, that I am feeling better. Besides having COVID as we speak right now, aren't you glad we're virtual and not in person? But that I am happy. My business is thriving. I can barely even believe that I'm able to say this out loud. And we're doing all right. I'm alive. My hair is growing back. I was bald as a cucumber last year. So it's coming back, and I've had surgery to like put my body back together, and I'm cancer free as far as I know. So it's been a wild ride. I've got a healthy 2.5-year-old daughter and 5 big kids. They are all distance learning. Now, if any of you are distance learning with your kids, it's not easy. And I've got 5 of them in school. That's a lot of work. So the way that, like I said, if I had a normal job, I would have been gone a long time ago. I would have had to resign, or I would have been fired, because my life demanded me to be home, in a hospital, in a chemo chair, moving my family, doing distance learning, okay, trying to stay alive. Now, you guys, whatever your life circumstances are, and like I said, when crappy circumstances happen, what are you going to tell yourself? Oh yeah, Scentsy is flexible around your circumstances. See it. Scentsy is flexible around my circumstances. That there's a superstar director, Sarah Speechley, who I will just always give credit for saying that from a stage. And I was the recipient of it. So if I can pass that on to you guys, that is the one thing I really want you to take away from this. So I want to also tell you, Scentsy is it's my income. It's my main job. I would call this my career at this point. I take it very seriously. But when life took me kind of off my tracks, you guys, it's like saying, I'm going to go to the store today and it's a mile away. But when you, just like me, I'm going to have a Scentsy career, and my goals are superstar director, or, whatever it may be. The path to the store is going to look different depending on the circumstances. Is it rainy outside? Is it snowy? Is it cold? Is it hot? Is it good biking weather? Like, should you walk, bike, run, jog, drive, whatever? What is time allowing you? What is the weather allowing you? It's going to be a different path, whatever you're dealing with. Okay. And the same thing with your business. Every day is different for me. Sometimes I just don't, I'm just so used to rolling with the punches. It's all I know. So let me just give you a couple little tips on how I made it through and navigated through some of life's hardest moments. What are the bare basics of your job? What is our job? Our job is the reality is we are a bridge to Scentsy products. Now, how are we going to get the Scentsy products to our customers? And then how are we going to teach others to do that as well? Okay, so sometimes that looks different. When I have more free time, when I don't have as much on my plate, I can make lots of samples. I can put lots of ribbons and washi tape on packages. I can go the extra mile. But you guys, it's okay if you can't always go the extra mile. Because if you're fighting for your life, or fighting for your marriage, or like dealing with the death of a loved one, or fighting COVID, or whatever, sometimes you can't give it your all, and I want you to know that that's okay. There are different seasons to your business, but the key is, are you going to give up, or are you going to be resilient and keep going? You get to choose. You get to choose. So just in the past few years, with the different hurdles that I've had, I think about how exhausted I was during pregnancy, and then that time afterwards of bonding and just getting used to a new baby. How can I best serve my customers? Well, when I found out I was pregnant, I knew it was like it solidified the deal that I could not be out having parties anymore. I could not be out having multiple evenings away from my family. That was my only time with my kids. So look at how much my business changed. I used to be, when I started, that evening out of doing parties, that was my time away because I had been with my kids all day long. But now I was away from my kids all day long. I didn't want to be away from them in the evenings. So what I did, especially once I knew I was going to have baby number 6, I looked into online parties. I wanted to do them well. I wanted to be able to tell my customers, hey, I've been studying online parties. I've been working on different methods and games and things like that. Who wants to be my guinea pig? And I got to practice with them and get better and better and offer them more and more. Then I had started a whiff box program, a custom box of like themed goodies that I give to subscribers every month. I knew that I could really expand on that. My whiff box customers are my best customers. They get addicted to all the products that they get to try. So I really put in a huge marketing effort toward that. I knew that that could sustain at least the PRV side of my business, that and customer follow-up. If you are watching this and you have not learned about customer follow-up, put that in your notes. Put that as one of your top things you're going to take away from this world tour experience and put it to work when you get home. Follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. Take care of your people and they will take care of you. So I expanded my Whiffbox program. I worked really hard at getting people enrolled in that to the point where I had 40 to 50 subscribers every month. Okay. And then I worked on online parties. I custom built my business to fit my circumstances. So I could do all these things with a baby in tow, staying right in my home. Well, after I had Vera Beth, my little one, I succumbed to deep depression and anxiety, debilitating. I would never wish it upon my worst enemy. And any of you who are listening to this who have experienced severe depression and anxiety know exactly what I'm talking about. It is a hopeless feeling. It's awful, and it takes you away from who you truly are, and it just, like I said, it's debilitating. I couldn't even get out of bed. It was like physically impossible for me to even think about brushing my teeth, let alone doing Scentsy parties and acting happy in front of a camera. I had to ask for a lot of help. You have to get very creative and you have to get very, very vulnerable. I reached out to a pastor in my community. I said, can you find somebody to help me? Anybody. For you, you might have a mom or a sister or a friend or a customer who could do this. I couldn't even have the brain power in that mindset to think of who I could ask. I just knew I needed to find somebody to help me find someone to help. And so she helped me find a friend, and she became my helper. Did I make a lot of profit? No, because I was paying this person to help me get through. But sorry. Okay. So I started paying somebody to help me, but it was exactly what I needed. And I was probably at the point in my business where I needed some help anyways. But I got people to help me assemble my boxes, and I got people to help me deliver them. So it was huge. Ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help, especially your customers, especially your community. If you have anybody around you, reach out and ask. Ask your family, your kids. Don't be afraid to ask for help. That is a huge piece of being resilient through hard times. When I got cancer, You guys, I've said this before on a stage, but when you are fighting for your life, when you don't know if you have months or weeks or years, you don't know, you don't really care about what new Scentsy scent is coming out next week. It didn't bring me joy anymore. I had no energy. All I wanted was to spend time with my family, my kids, and figure out how I was going to beat this thing. And that's where Buddy Drive came in. I went, how can I work amongst my circumstances? How can I take cancer, something I wanted to read about cancer and study it from sunrise to sunset. It was all I thought about. I swear I got a master's degree in breast cancer. I was obsessed with learning about it, everything I could, so that not only could I take care of myself and know what was ahead for me, but I was very passionate about helping other women. And I don't think it's a coincidence that I'm in an industry with tens of thousands of other women, because connecting with you guys and encouraging you to check yourselves and check for abnormalities, do self-checks on the regular, any changes, report to your doctor. Because yeah, anyways, it's just been a really beautiful thing to be connected with all of you during this time. So anyways, I got really, really excited about work again when I thought about buddy drives. So bringing our buddies to kids with cancer. And I can tell you there was just nothing like it, being able to deliver all these buddies. We did over 100 buddies. And then going back to my treatment center and seeing children walk out carrying buddies. That was very special. Either they were going through treatments or their family was. So like their mom, I saw little kids whose mom was getting her first chemo, and the kids got to have their buddies. So again, also, when I was going through chemo and in the midst of the hardest times where I would feel tired or sick or not well, and again, living away from home. I was not even living at my house that summer. This was just last year. What could I do? Would I choose to fall victim to my circumstances, or was I going to rise above? Okay, I could say, oh, I'm tired, I'm sick, I don't look like myself anymore, I have no confidence, like I feel like I could have just ducked out. Nobody would have blamed me for being like, Kate, if you need to take time away from Scentsy, go ahead, that's fine. Of course, I had to back off a little, but I could still keep my business alive, because I asked myself, what can I do in these circumstances? Do you know what I could do? I could do customer follow-up. I could place orders on my website. I could encourage people to do the same. And I could coach my team. Okay. I could make videos. I could still put myself out there and build relationships and serve my customers and my team. It didn't look the same from normal life, but I did what I could. It wasn't impossible. Okay. Different surgeries. Again, I just, in that recovery time, if you have a smartphone, you can do this business. If you work full time, you can do this business. You choose. You choose. It's all up to you. I don't have a full-time career outside of Scentsy, but I do have 6 kids, and I do have 5 of them in distance learning, which is going full-time here next week. Well, now for us, since we have COVID. But anyways, so you choose. My team members at work all day, every day in a normal job, I'll say, well, take your phone with you to lunch and do follow-up then, or watch a training video on your lunch break, or things like that. It's all flexible. Maybe you carve out a couple hours of time every Friday night. Maybe that's your reward. Go treat yourself, go sit at a restaurant, be socially distant, and plug into their Wi-Fi and just dive in for a couple hours uninterrupted. Make that be your fun time. You guys, it's worth it to find a way to rise above your circumstances. You guys, I want to say it again. There's times in this business where you're going to be a rock star, and there's times where you have to back off and do the bare minimum. If you're feeling like you're at a time in your life where life is pretty good and you're feeling like you're cruising along, that's great. use this time, like soak it up, establish amazing connections with your customers, share this opportunity with people around you, build a team, because let me tell you, being able to go through cancer treatment and have the foundation of a strong team underneath me, being able to maintain great paychecks through the hardest times of my life, priceless, literally priceless. And above the paycheck, guys, my customers and my team, my friendships that I've made throughout the company, they sustain me on a deeply emotional and physical level through this whole thing. If you are new and you're watching this, don't waste any time. Dive in, get to know your team, get to know your upline, get to share this love with everybody, because knowing the Scentsy community, besides just like having that income, have the community and the friendships as well. There's nothing like it. So before I leave you today, again, it's not a matter of if hard things come your way, it's a matter of when. We all face them. And it's your mindset and your perspective that's going to determine whether you survive it or not, whether your business survives it or not. Are you going to take ownership over it, or are you going to fall victim to your circumstances? I want to encourage you to take ownership. Take huge ownership. What does that mean? What does that mean? All right. You guys know, if you've been in any group or you've seen the people who say, oh, I can't do Scentsy. Nobody buys from me anymore. Everybody goes to Walmart. That is a mistruth. That is a huge mistruth. That is somebody who's playing victim. They're saying, everybody's going to Walmart. Nope, they're not. They're not. Nobody wants to buy from me. Yeah, they do. They do. And you're just choosing to put that thought in your head. Rise above. Take ownership. I have connections with great products. I need to work harder at making sure my community knows that I'm their Scentsy hookup and that I'm glad to serve them. You're glad to serve them. What do you have that Walmart doesn't? You have Pretty Little Ribbons. You have great customer service. You have lifetime guarantees, warranties. You have so much to offer. Free samples, service with a smile. People aren't going to know that unless you tell them and you make sure that they know. Take ownership over your experience. Anyways, I'm going to just leave you with a couple things here. Owner versus victim. You can write these down. An owner says, what can I do? Where a victim would say, who can I blame? Okay, so when something goes wrong, and I'm guilty of this, I've come a long way since a very wise person gave me this list. What can I do? An owner says that, whereas a victim says, who can I blame? So when that party fails, are you going to say, what could I do better? How could I have done that differently? Okay, next party, let's do it. Or are you going to be like, my host sucked, and these products suck. I mean, that's extreme, but people do that. People act in that way. Okay, no, I'm going to try that again, but this time I'm going to use that failure as an learning opportunity to do it even better next time. All right. An owner says, I choose. You notice I've used that language quite a bit. I'm choosing to overcome this. I'm choosing to work through it. I'm choosing to get creative in how I work my business. It's going to look different every single day, every year, every season. Nothing is the same about this business. My business looks different than it did a month ago. It looks different than it did a year ago, and certainly 7 years ago. Totally different. Same products, a lot of the same customers, but I've had to change course over and over again. I choose and I commit to. Well, I'll try to make samples next week. No, I commit to making samples next week. And I'm going to put it in my calendar that Monday from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. I am making samples. I commit. Whereas a victim would say, I'll try. I should make samples. Do you catch yourself saying that? A learning orientation to life. Embrace failure, you guys. When hard things happen, when parties fall through, when customers join a different company, when team members quit, whatever it may be, learn. What can I learn from this? Whereas victims avoid all personal responsibility. I do that all the time, you guys. I try to, if something bad happens, I say, okay, what could I have done better? What can I learn from this? I haven't always been that way. You have to take personal responsibility around all your circumstances and everything that happens. Let's see. An owner says you can count on it, rather than a victim saying, I will try. Okay, where does this show up in our business? I'll try to get this order out to you. I'll try to do some coaching calls. I'll try to recruit some team members. No, you guys, do it. I'm going to get 2 new team members every month. You have to tell yourself that. No, there's no question. I'm doing 2,000 PRV a month. And if it's not looking good by mid-month, I'm going to change my course of action and get that 2,000 PRV. I'm not going to, no, I'm doing it. Do you tell yourself that? So don't say, I will try to do 2,000 PRV. I will try to be active. No, I commit to it. When you commit to it, that means you're going to make a plan and do it. Commitment is a decision when you are playing owner, but when you're victim, commitment is a feeling. Okay, you can feel all you want, but feeling isn't going to pay the bills. You have to make commitments, guys. And see commitment as freedom. If I commit, you guys, if I commit to doing 20 minutes of follow-up every day, if I commit to coaching my team, if I commit to offering the opportunity to sell Scentsy to all of my best customers, you guys, that's a commitment that I'm going to follow through on. And it means freedom. That means to an owner, commitment is freedom because it allows you to, grow in your business, have more income. If you commit your schedule to certain things, it means that your free time will be more as well. But those who play victim, commitment feels like a punishment. What? I don't want to commit to 3 hours of work a week. That's too much. It feels like a punishment I don't want to do events, or I don't want to make samples. No, that's not a punishment. You're committed. When you commit to service and when you commit to creating goals and serving your people well, it will give you freedom to make lots of amazing choices in your life. So I think I'll leave it at that. Just know that when life hands you lemons, it's very cliche, your business will change, but you can choose to succumb to it, or you can choose to ride the waves and make a new plan and learn along the way. It will strengthen you. It will give you strength. You guys, I feel like anything could be thrown my way. Nothing will surprise me anymore. I feel unbreakable. Like I can rise above anything. Now, when I got cancer, you guys, my business stayed around the same. Did it grow the way I had planned? Nope. It grew a little bit, but it certainly didn't go under. And then when I got back on my feet again, I could hit the ground running again. And when that happened, guys, I hit Star Director. And now I'm looking at Superstar Director. So let that give you faith too. After 4 years of being a director, I did finally get off the ground. I'm making paychecks that will change the course of my family's life. I'm alive. I'm thankful. And Sensi has been with me around every life circumstance, and it is there for you too around yours. So you choose. Are you going to let the hard times bring you under, or are you going to get creative, take responsibility, and find new paths to strengthen you as you grow your business? Thanks for listening. Be resilient.